Now, the Rajasthan election is the flavor of the season. There are 200 seats up for grabs, and the BJP and the Congress are making all-out efforts to woo the voters. There is Prime Minister Narendra Modi versus Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. Who is it that is going to win the Rajasthan election this time around? Is there anti-incumbency on the side of the Congress and Ashok Gehlot that will lead to their demise in the election, or is there going to be a fight that is going to be put up by the Congress government against the incumbency, anti-incumbency that the BJP continues to accuse Ashok Gehlot of? Let's start off this conversation, starting with Vinita Hariharan, BJP spokesperson. Vinita, repeated systematic attack by the BJP. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been in Rajasthan for the past several days. He has been doing rallies and roadshows and these public addresses. He is talking about corruption, the government, the Rajasthan government that is ridden by corruption. He is talking about the Lal Diary. He is talking about Enforcement Directorate. He is even called Ashok Gehlot Jadugar and his Jadugari. Is this narrative that is being built by the BJP going to give BJP the brownie points, the votes that it is at this point of time seeking from the people?
Yeah, so absolutely, the narrative is just not false, and it's the correct narrative, because if you see the crime rate against women in Rajasthan, it's been mounting, and it's almost 1 million cases of crimes against women the last the last couple of years that the regime has been there. And about the NCRB, we're quoting the National Crime Record Bureau data, in which 6,300 cases of rapes have been recorded, which is almost 21% of the total rapes in the country. And the rape of minor girls, also about 48% of the country's cases have been recorded in Rajasthan the last year. And if you see, it's just not against women, it's about crimes against Dalits and tribals also. Jaipur city itself, amongst 19 cities, have recorded a share of about 20% share of crimes against Dalits. And we've also have gross incidents of atrocities against Dalit man in Sirohi districts and in Sirohi district in Rajasthan. And it's this, and almost about 8,000 cases of crimes against Dalits have been reported in the state, as per the state police records. So, and this is about Dalits. And similarly, against scheduled castes, 45 crimes per lakh of scheduled castes has increased to 61 crimes per lakh in 21. So these are the kind of data that is backing up the narrative. So it's not just a false narrative or loosely hanging narrative. It's based on data and facts. And of course, the corruption is for everybody to see. You have the Red Diary case, you have the paper leak case impacting about 70 lakh students. And each of them was 5 lakh to 15 lakh was the value per paper. So this is the kind of scams and corruption and crimes that have been reported in Rajasthan.
Okay, all right. Arun Sharma, the Congress spokesperson, how do you react to what Vinita Hariharan and the allegations that are being made by the BJP spokesperson? Obviously, Ashok Gehlot, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Rahul Gandhi, they've all come out in support of the Rajasthan government, talking about how there has been development, there have been jobs that have been provided, there is the cheapest of the LPG gas cylinders that have been provided, much has been done for women empowerment. So whose narrative is the people of Rajasthan buying?
Actually, whatever may be the narrative, the freebies culture should not be there at all, be it BJP government or be it the Congress government. Well, I have been listening yesterday to the elections in Argentina, where the president had declared that he will not give any income tax, he will not create any jobs, and he will not give any freebies, and he won the election. Because Argentina, there's so much of economic crisis there. For the last 40 years, the people have realized these freebies will do nothing good for the state or the country. So this is what I just want to emphasize to both the parties. It's just for the election stunt that they create these freebies, giving doles, free electricity, free water, buses mein free service, free movement in buses for ladies, gas subsidies. So these will not be good for the long run for any state of the
Okay, but
country.
do you also feel that at the end of the day, freebies do work, whether it is the Aam Aadmi Party formula or the Congress formula or the BJP formula?
No, it is doing. But one has to be very strict now. Government has to be strict if we want to run the country for a long time, for a long period. These are all very short-sighted things. I think both parties are to be blamed. Both parties, even regional parties, all the parties are to be blamed, and we people are to be blamed for that, because we are too happy to get these freebies.
Okay, but who is going to make the checks and balances? Is there going to be self-regulation from the political parties? It doesn't seem like a
madam.
logical.
In India,
it is not going to be. It's in I think in India across the globe. I mean, the fact that if you want to win an election, you are going to use all modes, all models to ensure that you win the election. And if you have to give freebies, so be it.
In our country, बहुत पुरानी कहावत है ना कि हम डंडे के पीर हैं. So it can only be done by the Supreme Court of India, and nobody else, no parties. That's my submission. So हमें ये डंडा चाहिए यहाँ पे, है ना? That's very simple.
Okay, Raja Munib also on the telecast with me. Raja, how do you read the campaigning that is taking place in full swing? Who is the voter going to be swayed by?
Look, what you see from the ground in Rajasthan is that, BJP is certainly having an edge, given that, there is anti-incumbency in Congress. If you remember, in February, there were MLAs who were called in and who were facing anti-incumbency by the Gehlot government. And they were asked specifically about what your plans are to curb this anti-incumbency. So that has not really happened. And, there is still a lot of dissonance between the voters and the Congress MLAs in many areas. But what is sticking, I think, in this election is the crime against women and, the rape, like BJP spokesperson also said, the high level of rape cases which have, emerged from Rajasthan. So the security of women in some sense is sticking to a lot of people there. And, people are resonating with that kind of, thing. Also, what is affecting Congress is the infighting between the Gehlot and the Sachin Pilot camp. Recently, Ashok Gehlot was campaigning in one of his areas and he nearly had zero crowd there. So that indicated that how much the rivalry still is on the ground, despite the fact that what people are saying on, how they put it in the media and how they try to reconcile on the media. But on the ground, it's certainly visible. So I think that is going to hit Congress one way or another in the coming elections, which is going to take place in a couple of days. But going that, BJP is also finding it very tough. The problem with BJP is that, the lack of central state leadership. In all the elections, if you see from Karnataka to, Rajasthan, the emergence of strong central leadership somewhere is missing. And, the BJP is heavily dependent on the central leadership and on the charisma of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So I think that is something which is, which the voters also look at it, and which also is going to be a problem for BJP. Because if you see essentially for last 4 years, Vasundhara Raje was sitting on the sideline. She was not even, campaigning actively, was not even having a very active political life. But now suddenly, since elections are nearing, she has come back into the fold, and it's a Raje versus, Gehlot. But the absence of a strong state leadership of BJP is going to hurt them. And how much are they going to cover on that is to be seen on the coming voting day. Megha.
Okay, but also, do you also believe that there is this anti-incumbency wave and the fact that there is an the BJP and the Congress come and govern Rajasthan and win the election alternatively, and therefore it's just a foregone conclusion that it is going to be the BJP that is now going to come to power after the term of the Rajasthan government led by Congress is now over?
Look, if you look at Rajasthan traditionally has been a swing state. So it's never been, a state which has a party which has been able to retain its, power twice. They usually have this swing kind of a, voting pattern. But to say that, it's a foregone case is something I think which is a bit of an overreach. I think more it's going to be a close fight, but BJP certainly looks to have an edge over Congress in Rajasthan for sure as of now.
Okay. Coming back to you, Arun Sharma, just quickly a clarification. Are you a political analyst or a Congress spokesperson?
No, I'm not a political analyst. I'm a citizen, a retired government employee. You know, and I can give example of Himachal Pradesh. I belong to Himachal
No,
Pradesh
but are
basically.
you speaking on behalf of the Congress?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Okay, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
And again,
Not at
a
all.
citizen. Do you belong to Rajasthan?
No, I'm from Himachal Pradesh. I'm from Himachal Pradesh, and Congress came into power here just because of 2-3 basic reasons that they declared OPS, Old Pension Scheme, as the main trump card. OPS is justified, no doubt, but it should be rational. It should not be 50% of the last pay drawn. It's total. It is burden of the exchequer. Yani paying so much money to the retired persons and getting nothing out of them. Either, like I'm also a pensioner, okay, I'm getting 50% of my basic pay as a pension, but government should take what from us, or it should be just reduced to say 25 or 30% of the basic, so that it's not burden on the government or the exchequer for that matter.
Okay.
So my question
Vinita, I'll
is,
come
this
to
should be
you.
totally done away.
Vinita, I'll come to you now. Again, like I said, this is a swing state, as was mentioned by Raja. So I as the BJP taking it for granted that you are going to win the election because the last term was governed by Ashok Gehlot from the Congress.
No, absolutely not. We can never take an electoral canvas for granted. So it will always be in the strength of the programs that are run centrally as well as implemented at the state level. But now we had the Gehlot government and the implementation was not as expedient as it should have been, as we've seen in so-called double engine sarkars that we have in other states. So, I mean, it's not a cliche term, double engine, because when we have the center and the state, we have the same party. It's always easier to, channelize the funds and the programs to the last mile to the people. And just to talk about the freebies that Mr. Arun Sharma was talking about. BJP definitely does not believe in the freebie mechanism because we go through the subsidy route through a very well calculated budget, which is through the government of India's exchequer. And it's not just about freebies where you announce freebies and you're not able to carry it through, like we've seen what happened in Karnataka with the Congress government. The budget is absolute doldrums, but we've seen how the central government has managed its budget so well. Even during the COVID pandemic, we've managed to sail it through and then emerge as the topmost economy in the world, top 5 economies, the world 6.3% growth rate. So we are managing our subsidies very well because we cannot completely eliminate subsidies right away in India because we still have a large percentage still, although we've lifted many millions out of poverty, we still have substantial number of people who are below the poverty line. So we need to cater to those people as well, so that our difference between the rich and the poor, once it becomes equalized, then we can get rid of subsidies completely. But till then, we still have to depend on subsidies. Although BJP still, the government at the center runs a very efficient economy based on modern economic theories, which is not based on freebies, is based on calculated subsidies given to the last mile who deserving last mile, and not just to all, not like a blanket freebie to all. So it's a very well calculated program. Even in Rajasthan, if you see the Ladli Protsahan Yojana, it's about merit-based scholarship given to girls, at an incremental 6,000 rupees per year in class 6, class 9 it's 8,000, then 10,000 per year in class 10, and then finally, a 1 lakh when she becomes 21, and a free scooty to her, on a merit-based scholarship in class 12. So that, incentivizes people to perform as well as to get the kind of subsidy and the support that they need to come up to the level that, to a level playing field.
Okay, I really wish I had the Congress spokesperson to rebut. I don't. Meanwhile, Raja, if you could, get into this conversation and be the devil's advocate in terms of how the BJP projects itself versus what the Congress's claims have been, particularly with the allegations that have been made by the BJP and Prime Minister about the Lal Diary and Vaibhav Gehlot, who has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate over a number of corruption charges.
Look, that is what the Congress is saying, that it is a vindictive politics, which is BJP is restoring to, and every state where BJP is going for an election, they call in the ED and the other agencies to target them particularly to malign their image. But one thing is interesting in this election, while the BJP is talking about the double engine sarkar and talking about the central schemes, how they need to be done, the strength of Gehlot government is also the schemes the Gehlot government has launched on this in Rajasthan. And they have been very, very strong on that front, because that is what they've been talking about, that this the schemes which we have introduced on the state level is really benefiting the people. So at the end of the day, it will be very interesting to see whether it is going to be the BJP narrative or the double engine Sarkar, where they are talking about the central schemes, which is from a national budget, or is it going to be Gehlot who's able to retain his voters on the same plank of having the schemes for the poor and the welfare of the women going through. So this is a very, very interesting aspect of this election, where both of them are contesting each other sort of on the same plank, which I will call the schemes which they have launched for the government. Though BJP has time and again accused them of derailing the central schemes which have in the center, and Gehlot has said that his schemes have worked better for the people of Rajasthan. That is one. So if you look at the ED case or the Lal Diary case, the corruption cases are always there, and inadvertently before elections you will see one or the other diary case coming up, or any election case, any ED case coming up. But once the elections are over, the process of following them is not as the people would like to see, or they don't go to the logical end. This sort of fizzle out in between somewhere.
Right.
So I think that is something which is a bit cynical, which is a bit of a cynical point. I would call it a devil's advocate, to see whether it is an election strategy, or is it something which is going through the to its logical conclusion.
Okay, all right. Let's quickly also take a look at this face-off between the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Rajasthan over the rallies that each one of them have conducted in the last 24 hours in Rajasthan.
एक जनसभा में यहां के सीएम ने स्वीकार किया कि उनके उम्मीदवारों, उनके विधायकों ने 5 साल कोई काम ही नहीं किया है। ये खुद ने बोला है। काम क्यों नहीं किया? क्योंकि राजस्थान इधर एक जादूगर और दिल्ली में बैठे कांग्रेस के बाजीगर। कल राजस्थान की लाल डायरी की सबसे अधिक चर्चा है इस साल, और इस लाल डायरी के पन्ने जैसे जैसे खुल रहे हैं, वैसे वैसे जादूगर जी के चेहरे पर हवाइयां उड़ रही हैं। परिवारजनों, लोकतंत्र ने आपको कुशासन वाली इस कांग्रेस सरकार को बदलने का मौका दिया है। ये मौका हाथ से जाने नहीं देंगे ना। कभी कभार एक छोटी गलती 5 साल भुगतने के लिए मजबूर कर देती है। आपका एक वोट भी कमल के फूल के अलावा किसी दूसरे तीसरे दल को मिला तो वो सीधा कांग्रेस को ही जाएगा।
स्थिति बीजेपी की कभी नहीं बनी, ऐसी दुर्गति कभी नहीं हुई कि हमारे कोई भी उपलब्धि जो है हमारी, जब सरकार चलती है कोई न कोई योजना बनती है, कानून पास होते हैं, गारंटी दे रहे हम लोग, तो विपक्ष की जिम्मेवारी को जवाब दे या आलोचना करे, कमियां बताए। 100 से अधिक जगह से डिमांड आ गई, 125 150 के बीच में, तो संभव नहीं जाना सब जगह। तो मैं तो सबसे अपील कर रहा हूँ कि 200 जगह ही मैं खुद चुनाव लड़ रहा हूँ, और सबको आह्वान कर रहा हूँ, कार्यकर्ताओं को भी जिनके बलबूते पर हम चुनाव जीतते हैं, आम मतदाताओं से भी जो हमारे माई बाप हैं वो चाहेंगे तो सरकार बनेगी हमारी। तो मैं सबसे मार्मिक अपील करता हूँ इस बार सरकार रिपीट करने के लिए। लगता है पब्लिक ने मूड बना लिया है इस बार सरकार रिपीट करने का, ये मेरा मानना है।
आपका दावा था कि 156 की जो पूर्व में आप जब अध्यक्ष रहे,
मैं जब 98 में सीएम बना था ना, तो 156 आई थी, तो वही मैंने टारगेट बनाया। इतने अच्छे काम हमने किए हैं, इतने अच्छे कानून पास किए हैं, इतनी अच्छी स्कीम लेकर आए, इतनी अच्छी गारंटी दे रहे हैं पब्लिक को, खुशनुमा माहौल है पब्लिक के अंदर। और तो मेरा मानना है इस बार हम 156 की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं। अब कब तक बढ़ते बढ़ते कहाँ रुक जाएंगे मैं नहीं कह सकता।
All right. After that face-off and attacks that have been made by Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, we'll keep a close eye on the campaigning that now is going to end by tomorrow. 48 hours is the period. The Model Code of Conduct starts getting implemented. Election is on the 25th of November. And the fate of the political parties is going to be sealed.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.